North Korea, another one of Trump's great diplomatic coups, right? Because he is, what does he call himself? What did I say? Great and unmatched wisdom. He said that's why he pulled the troops out, because of his great and unmatched wisdom. That applies with Kim Jong crazy too. North Korea said yesterday that it had no desire to engage in what the North Koreans call, quote, sickening negotiations, end quote, with the United States anymore. That's the North Korean way of saying, go fuck yourself. We've had it. And why should they sit down and negotiate with a lump of bullcrap like Trump? They know he won't be around long. They're not going to make any deals with him. The Trump Wonder Boys had suggested that negotiators from both countries meet next week or in 2 weeks in Stockholm. Somebody in the Trump administration wanted to take a trip to Sweden. Hey, I know! In a statement issued a day after bilateral talks broke down in Stockholm, Saturday, just passed, the North Korean Foreign Ministry said it would not meet with American negotiators again until after Washington took what it calls a substantial step to complete an irreversible withdrawal of a hostile policy. Now, what the North Koreans mean by that, of course, is we don't want to hear the word South Korea out of your mouths, Americans, ever again, in any context or form. Get the hell off of our peninsula. Go torture somebody in your own hemisphere. Those are the hostile policies of the United States. War games or military exercises, whatever you want to call them, with the Republic of Korea's military, or these sanctions that have been placed against North Korea. You know, the North Koreans are more or less saying, get out of there. We don't need your shit anymore. We have missiles now that can be launched from submarine. By the way, we have submarines too. Go ahead. Screw around with us now, oh great America, with your orange monster of a leader. The North Korean Foreign Ministry suggested that the Trump administration, which is facing a whole bunch of domestic political scandals, that the Trump administration was more interested in forcing a deal on North Korea and then claiming a major diplomatic achievement to help Trump's reelection bid. That's what he's interested in, not in satisfying or meeting North Korea's demands. That's what the North Korean Foreign Ministry said. Oh, they're hip to what's going on, right? Oh, no. We're not going to give you a deal so you can go to your dumb shit backers in Iowa and Tennessee and Arkansas and Georgia and say, well, I stopped the North Koreans. Oh, no. No. The North Korean Foreign Ministry statement also said this, quote, the U.S. has actually not made any preparations for the negotiations, that's Trump, but sought to meet its political goal of abusing the Democratic People's Republic of Korea and the U.S. dialogue for its domestic political interests. What the North Korean Foreign Ministry is saying is, hey, we're on to you. We know the shit you're trying to do there, Mr. Trump. Shortly after the talks broke down in Stockholm on Saturday, Morgan Ortagus, who is now a State Department spokeswoman, said the United States had accepted the invitation of the Swedish government for American and North Korean negotiators to return to Stockholm to meet again in 2 weeks. And on Sunday, the North Koreans called that idea, whatever the equivalent in Korean is, of bullshit. I'm sure that Morgan, what's her last name? Morgan Ortagus, Ortagus. I'm sure that Morgan Ortagus, who was instructed to go out and say, well, now the Swedes said we could come back and have another meeting, and then to hear the North Korean Foreign Ministry say that's bullshit. I'm sure it made her question, well, probably didn't. I was going to say question her job. Negotiators from our country and North Korea had met to resume denuclearization talks that had stalled since the second meeting between Trump and Kim had collapsed. You remember that, where they just both said, fuck it, and walked away from each other? You remember that one? Right, okay. That was in Hanoi, Vietnam, in February. That meeting fell apart on disagreements about how fast and how thoroughly the North should dismantle its nuclear program and how soon the United States would erase sanctions. Look, somebody, I mean, I know this. You know this. Anybody who understands U.S. Korea history knows this, which eliminates Trump. But maybe somebody in the Trump cabal of crazy bastards knows that North Korea will never, under any circumstances, give up their nuclear program. Never, 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 underlined, never, never. Because the North Koreans remember what it was like to be totally defenseless when the United States, even with the help of some Chinese communist troops, with their help, when the United States decided to turn North Korea north of the 38th parallel into a vast wasteland. And they butchered more people, we did, in North Korea than we butchered in Japan. With all of our firebombing of Japan, all of our 2 nuclear weapons, we killed more North Koreans than we did Japanese. And Kim Jong-un and his son and his grandson and his great-grandson out to the 40th goddamn generation will never give up their nuclear weapons. Trump can appear on a stage and commit ritual harakiri, and it won't matter. They still won't do it, ever. And who's to blame them? I don't support Kim Jong-un. I don't support any dictator, including Trump. But who's to blame the North Koreans for saying, what? What? You want us to give up our... You want to... The one thing that we have to prevent you wild-ass, crazy Caucasians from coming after us again? Here, read between the lines. No.
Greetings, truth seekers. It's that time of year again. Time to help your humble and obedient podcaster keep it lit by keeping the lights on in the Malloy studio with a podcast pledge drive. All October, we are giving away freebies, goodies, and gifts as thank yous for subscribing or renewing your Malloy podcast at the Trump recession level reduced price of $49 a year. It's a different giveaway each week, truth seekers. Everything from an autographed copy of Mike's book, Colored Ice Cream, to my holiday baked goods. Already have a Malloy podcast? Well, it makes a great gift. And remember, podcast subscribers also get exclusive access to the weekend bonus shows, which might be hosted by Mike or by me. We even have a teen show coming up featuring Molly and her friends. Just visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe or renew today. Keep it lit.